Every night, in sleep research facilities across the country, people volunteer to be studied while they rest. They're hooked up to EEG monitors, eye tracking sensors, pulse oximeters. Every breath is logged, every movement captured on infrared camera. The data is meant to be clinical, predictable, repeatable, and most of the time it is. But researchers keep a secondary set of notes, not published in journals, not discussed at conferences. Events that don't fit cleanly into the literature. Anomalies that were witnessed, documented, and then quietly filed away. This is a review of some of those cases. To understand why these events are unusual, you need to understand what normal looks like. During healthy sleep, the brain cycles through stages roughly every 90 minutes. Light sleep, deep slow-wave sleep, REM, rapid eye movement, where most vivid dreaming occurs. The EEG readout during each stage has a distinct signature. Researchers can tell exactly where someone is in a cycle just by reading the wave pattern on a screen. The body also becomes largely paralyzed during REM. This is intentional, a protective mechanism that prevents people from physically acting out their dreams. The technical term is REM atonia. It's consistent, it's reliable, except when it isn't. In a 2003 sleep study at a university facility, the institution has never been publicly identified by the researcher who later wrote about it. A subject entered what appeared on the EEG to be deep REM sleep. Atonia was confirmed, eyes moving beneath closed lids. Then the subject sat up. Not a sleepwalking event, not an arousal. The EEG never shifted. The brain remained in full REM. The subject sat upright, turned toward the observation window, which was mirrored on the subject's side, and appeared to stare directly at the researchers for approximately 40 seconds, then lay back down. REM continued uninterrupted. The research team reviewed the footage multiple times. The EEG anomaly, movement during confirmed atonia, had no documented parallel in their combined experience. The subject, when woken at the end of the session, reported dreaming about standing in a hallway, looking at their own reflection. They had no memory of sitting up. Science has explanations for pieces of this. REM behavior disorder, RBD, is a documented condition where atonia partially fails, allowing people to move during dreaming. But RBD produces frantic, disorganized movement, thrashing, vocalizations. The subjects don't sit up calmly and orient toward a specific point in the room. There are also documented cases of sleep state misclassification, where EEG readings don't perfectly capture what's happening neurologically. Brains are not simple machines. But the researchers in this case weren't working with primitive equipment, and the subject's orientation toward the observation window is the part that doesn't resolve cleanly into any existing framework. Maybe it was coincidence. Maybe the subject had studied the room layout before the session, and some navigational instinct surfaced in sleep. Maybe. What makes this harder to dismiss is that variations of this account appear across facilities with no connection to each other. Not identical, never identical, but thematically consistent. Subjects in confirmed REM states performing deliberate, calm, purposeful actions, brief durations, full amnesia upon waking, and in several accounts, some form of apparent orientation toward the people watching them. Researchers don't talk about this publicly because there's nothing useful to say. You can't publish an anomaly you can't reproduce. You can't build a hypothesis on a handful of unconnected incidents that might all have mundane explanations. So the notes sit in files, and the researchers move on. Here's what I keep coming back to. Sleep research exists because we still don't fully understand what the brain does when we're unconscious. We know the stages, we can read the waves, but the experience of sleep, what it actually is from the inside, remains one of the least understood states in neuroscience. Every night you go to sleep, you leave. Whatever monitors the world while you're gone is not quite the version of you that exists when you're awake. The researchers who witnessed these events know that, and some of them, according to the notes, stop sleeping well afterward. Tonight, when you close your eyes and drift off, remember that somewhere a researcher is watching, taking notes, and filing some of them away where nobody will ever find them. Sleep well.